to get behind my wheel again. I wipe a bead of sweat on my forehead before I begin my daily drive to work. A constant endeavor, gotta keep my senses sharp. I'm gonna let it trip, I got to stay clever. But there's just strange sounds, grinding smoke from under my hood. My suspension is sharp, but at least my transmission's good. I drive it one more day, hopefully I'll be okay. But if not, at least I got a girl I know who's got triple A. At least I got a girl who's got triple A. At least I got a girl who's got triple A. At least I got a girl who's got triple A.
Well, good evening, everyone. Tuned in for another live broadcast from the Duncan Showroom. And tonight we have another great treat, bringing you entertainment, music that you would not normally hear on your regular station. All these guys should deserve to be on CBC. But, you know, CBC's changing their format all the time. For university radio and stuff like that, they're all over it. So what we're here to do is to teach you and show you new music. Now, one of the things I just want to show, because we have new audience tonight, too. Oh, sorry, I'm out of breath. This is going to be relevant in a minute. You'll understand with this too. But a friend of mine worked on Volkswagens most of his life. He retired, went back into woodwork, which is his second favorite thing. And he started taking old fences, and he would take the slats and mill them down and make these canes like saws. Isn't that cool? And the cool thing is, see this little, that little badge in there? That's common. I didn't know this. But every saw, that's the emblem. And saws were like pianos. Like a good saw, that's how everything was made. We didn't have electrical saws, right? So everything that was done, so the saws were an important part of the industrial, of building and everything that went on in the communities. So we made these up, and I found out too that most handles are the same size, right? The grip is always the same, that's cool. So I asked him to make me one. This one I have to lean over, right? So he did make me one. And it is the right size. And I actually flew across the country with one of these ones. And you get it, they let you on the plane first. Also, they treat you real good, right? But I would show them, because this guy, when he made it for me, I really liked it, but it's got the emblem, it's got everything the same, but it has this design flaw. I said, like, what's that? Like, did you make a mistake? He says, no, John, that's a design improvement. Improvement? He says, yeah, it's for all the old guys so they don't get their shoes wet. Sorry. Anyway, some of the many things you can see here at the Duncan Showroom. Anyway, these guys, first of all, tragedy, Anne. I mean, I love it. It's just such a, because Raggedy Ann has always been there, but all of a sudden Tragedy Ann makes much more sense in my head. I'm glad you picked the name. Is there any one reason why you did that?
It was all Braden's brothers doing.
Yeah. First thing out of his mouth.
No. I love it. It's really good. And I was talking to you're from Guelph, right? Mm-hmm. And Guelph is a wonderful little community. They have the Hillside Folk Festival, one of the finest in Canada, one of the longest running ones too, isn't it? Yes. And another friend of mine, Tana Slimmin, lives there. And she plays with the band Boreal, who's going to be out here in March, hopefully on the 16th. But, and I was telling them, because they're from Guelph, so they know Tana's. And Tana says, they're playing there tonight. Long John, you're going to be in for a treat. They are so special. Their harmonies, everything about them, you're just going to love it. I said, okay, I'm in. But then I had to point out to them that the blues cloth that we have on the back here is a lot longer than it looks. It's 100 feet. But Tanis invited me down when she did the CD release for Blue, that Blue album. And so we had that church. We had to figure out what to do. So I went out looking, and we found this fabric at one of the local, because that's what Guelph's all about. And we did this whole front of the church. It actually came out, there was 1.5 foot left over for the whole thing we had to do. So it was very, very cool. And so that's why I always think of Tanis every time I'm on stage, because she's such a beautiful person. But so when she tells me that I'm supposed to listen to you guys, then you better listen up to Tanis Slimming, because you're all here anyway. Because you know who these guys are? Is there anybody here who knows who they are? Well, of course, other than the great friends. Well, it's a treat. And this was all made made possible by Home Roots Festival, Home Roots Touring, which is based out of the great Mitch Podolak started this years ago. I remember we talked about it for a long time, and he actualized it, right, which was great. And that is getting people to go into other people's houses, into living rooms, and things like that, where people gather their friends around and say, come on, we're going to try some music, see what you think about it. And so it's worked out really well for them, for the whole idea, because many musicians get to tour parts of Canada that you would never see. Audiences get to hear you that you wouldn't normally get a chance to hear. And it's very intimate. Well, we got in on that because this is my living room. That's all my stuff. None of it's for sale. That's what makes it my living room. But anyway, without further ado, sound check is awesome. Sound checks allows you to hear something which is going to take place. It's very special. But what they need is the couch and belly welcome. Please, Tragedy Ann, give it up for them.
Howdy. Hi, everybody. My name is Braden. This is Liv. And we are here on the last night of a 5.5-week-long tour. We've been out here. We left home on November 2nd, and we took the Via Rail out to Vancouver. We played on the train through their Artists on Board program, and they work you pretty hard. You're playing 3 times a day. And then we were out here for a festival up in Cumberland and all the way out to Edmonton, and now we're back here. And it feels lovely to be finishing this off. We've had a terrific time. Ready to be home.
Aria's got the memo.
Yes,
That's
we're
what my
not
heart's
the only
saying,
ones.
too.
Yeah, I feel you, bud. This is a song called The Shield, and it is about embracing the beauty in inconvenience. It is always the times when we've had a struggle or things have taken longer or been more roundabout than you expect that you get the story, that you get the experience that changes you. And for me, that one of the first times I kind of articulated that was my first time driving around Lake Superior. And it just takes so damn long because it's enormous and you are humbled. And it's been really the same for us with the Rocky Mountains on this tour. We have crossed them 3 times so far, and are going to cross them 1 more time tomorrow. And I love that. I wish I could do it 8 more times on the tour, but we do not have the time to do so. Morning sun, pale polygraph of power lines across our dash tells me that our car is pointed north. Now to our left, the inland sea that rolls beside Sault Ste. Marie plays hide and seek from in between the pines. Past the road to reach Hornpain, God, I miss Stuart McLean. We've never made this drive without his voice. And the one way round is the long way round, and the shield makes you surrender and submit. Obstacles are where this beauty lives. Shift downhill to save our brakes outside the range of CAA. We'll find the grave before this wagon does. Roll your eyes, declare me champ when I spy my millionth beaver dam. On antler watch, some things are left observed. Rushing river, find our sight. Little red tent in warm twilight. My mother stopped here 40 years ago. When the one way round is the long way round, and the shield makes you surrender obstacles are where this beauty lives. When the one way round is the long way round, and the shield makes you surrender and submit. Obstacles are where this beauty lives. The highway hints at Winnipeg. We've gained an hour, we'll be there before noon. When the one way round is the long way round, and the shield makes you surrender and submit. Obstacles are where this beauty lives.
Thank you so much, folks. It's really neat to be here in a space that has 3 other pump organs in it, and it feels so funny to bring this little tiny one along. But if you end up going to the washroom, you'll see some beauty ones over there. One of which is sort of like a cousin to this one because it was also made at the Bell Piano and Organ Company in Guelph, Ontario, where we are from. So it's pretty neat to bring it here and have it be reunited with one of its own. This was built in around 1907, and when we found it, it was in just total disrepair. And we found someone who could take care of it, and he put about 200 hours of love into bringing it back to life. And we're endlessly grateful for Rodney Janzi's work.
We're gonna invite you out to Guelph for this next one. This is a song called Perfect Strangers, and it's a bit of an introduction and a love letter to our neighborhood in Guelph. It's called the Ward, also known as the Two Rivers neighborhood. It's where the Speed and Aramosa rivers meet finally and have some chatting to do. And the Ward traditionally is it is the oldest and kind of most storied neighborhood in Guelph. It's where many of the new Canadians would gather and make their homes. It's where many of the artists in town, such as ourselves, would find home, and it's where many of the low-income folks in town, such as ourselves, also find home. And we like it very, very much. And so this is a little piece of that for you. Barbara paints a picture of the yelling man downtown. Her shaking hand remembers Sam playing with his hat out. Her brush is colored summer when the sidewalk was filled. 2 years into Parkinson's, she can't keep it still. My neighbor grows tomatoes like he has for 60 years. Paradise in his backyard since immigrating here. His doctor told him last spring to cut them from his diet. So Alfredo grows tomatoes, the fruit die on the vine. What are we worth when it's gone before us? Ben plays hockey organ for the local junior A's. He's never had an audience that wasn't wearing skates. The league sent him a letter. Times are changing fast. The radio is cheaper. The season is his last. Are we weighed by what we love? What are we worth when it's gone before us? Are we weighed by what we love? What are we worth when it's gone before us? Barbara's bought a camera and she never puts it down. Alfredo plants a seed and smiles. It's the gardening that counts. Ben plays at church on Sundays, even after the ice melts. To my knowledge, they've never met. They know each other well.
Weeks passed, and the little rabbit grew very old and shabby. But the boy loved him just as much. He loved him so hard that he loved all his whiskers off, and the pink lining to his ears turned gray, and his brown spots faded. He even began to lose his shape, and he scarcely looked like a rabbit anymore, except to the boy. To him, he was always beautiful, and that was all the little rabbit cared about. He didn't mind how he looked to other people, because the nursery magic had made him real. And when you are real, shabbiness doesn't matter.
There's a tree not too far from home, waving leaves like it knows me. There's a voice I hear when I'm alone, whispers to the seasons. There was touch, knots along your spine, our velvet's gone. Am I still worthy when my thread is torn? Will you still love me? Now there's a hole we cannot mend. Until then, there was hope. Treatment traded time, folded hands defiant. There's a phrase I wish that I could say. I wish that you could stay alive in every way. Please, I wish that you could stay. I wish that you could stay. I wish that you could stay. Will you still love me when our velvet's gone? Am I still worthy when my thread is torn? Will you still love me? Now there's a hole we cannot mend. Until then, until then, until then. There's a tree not too far from home, waving leaves, it knows me. You know, every time we leave for tour, we do our very best to pack our bags with only the essentials, only the things that we're going to need. And inevitably, there's going to be things that we leave behind that we're like cursing ourselves for not bringing with us. And there's going to be that one thing that you thought was going to be essential and you don't grab once. And for me, on this tour, my travel mug, on previous tours, I've not brought my travel mug, and I'm always looking for it and wishing that I had it. This tour brought it. Not once have I reached for it, and that's kind of the way it goes. This song, I bring that up mostly because this next song is called Travel Mug, but as is often the case, it's not actually really about a travel mug. It's just a name. This is a song about growing up and realizing with no small degree of horror that grown-ups don't have everything figured out. And developing a hypothesis that it might be entirely possible that grown-ups have nothing figured out. Not a thing. And now you are one, and you're in it with them, and we're all just trying to figure it out. And the process for me has involved softening and being a little kinder and taking it easier on my elders, while also making space for accountability in times when they really should have known better. And that's where this song comes from. I remember the travel mug beside you in the driver's seat. Never full, but kept in reach. Driving to school, I was 16. I loved your daughter, and for a moment there she loved me. We knew better than to bring it up. Wouldn't agree on what scares us. Your tongue stained red like it tasted love. Never felt safe, but safe enough. Kids in the back seat while your demons ride shotgun. He always won, but you both played. Captor and captive shared a cage. When he was laughing, it sounded just like rage. Let's sing. You knew better, you knew better than you knew better, you knew better than you knew better, you knew better than that. You knew better, you knew better than you knew better, you knew better than you knew better, you knew better than that. I still look for you on county roads. Beat up old Taurus, see me driving alone. Leaving that house and seeking home. Your travel mug and all you own. Thank you.
That was the first time we had a light show for that song. That was a good time.
This next one's for any of the lovers in the crowd. We're going to sing a breakup song. But it's not a real one. It's a fake breakup song. One of, let me explain. Liv and I have been going steady for 11 and a half years now. It's going to be 12 years in January, and this band is turning 10 years old 12 years together in July, band 10 years in January. Both are J's, but very different months. Isn't that wild?
I chalk it up to tour brain.
Tour brain is a very real thing. I don't know how many time zones we've been through and how many times we've been through them, but that's fine. We've been together as a band for 10 years as of this coming January, which is just a delight. It is, if you ever have the chance to write and share music with the love of your life, might I recommend it. It is such a great joy and a pleasure in almost every way. Almost. You don't, there's not the same catharsis in getting to write a sad bastard breakup song if you are not a sad bastard, nor are you broken up. You don't have much material to work with there. And so you have to kind of make these things up instead. And so we have these fake breakup songs, and this is one of them. And so if this song speaks to you, if it reminds you of something that's happened to you in your life, or something that you did to someone else, I'm so deeply sorry for you and that other person. It's not what happened to me, and I'm very grateful for that. That sums it up. Yeah. I'm so well, I've never been better. Gonna knit these words on a big red sweater. Never felt so good with all the nothing I'm on. I'm so well, my baby's so gone. Life is just stellar and I know why. I'm a lucky feller with the will to survive. But when you laugh scary with that look in your eye, I consider reconsidering my turn-ons. Things are just starting to look up for us until I came back on that Greyhound bus. But maybe I'm a narrator that you can't trust. Greyhound doesn't operate in Canada. I'm so well, I've never been better. Gonna knit these words on a big red sweater. Never felt so good with all the nothing I'm on. I'm so well, my baby's so gone. We were pretty good until we got great. How come married people still can't relate? Can't admit our love, won't deny our hate. It ain't kind to be early when you copulate. Oh, I'm so well, I've never been better. Gonna knit these words on a big red sweater. Never felt so good with all the nothing I'm on. I'm so well, my baby's so gone. I'm so well, I've never been better. Gonna knit these words on a big red sweater. Never felt so good with all the nothing I'm on. I'm so well, my baby's so gone. I'm so well, I've never been better. Gonna knit these words on a big red sweater. Never felt so good with all the nothing I'm on. I'm so well, my baby's so gone. I'm so well, my baby's so gone. I mean, I'm so well, my lady's so
Sometimes I feel like I'm doing product placement whenever I drink from my Hillside branded mug. It's a good product placement though. If anyone wants to come to Guelph to come to the Hillside Festival, recommend it.
Well, Liv, isn't it true that the water is more delicious and nourishing when it's in a Hillside branded bottle?
Something happens.
Yeah, tell me more.
We are going to take you to Guelph, but to a very different place than Hillside Festival.
Mm-hmm. That's a bit of an understatement.
Has anyone here been to Guelph before? Okay. Were you ever in Van Gogh's Ear, the restaurant? Okay.
Somehow you weren't missing much, and you were missing a whole lot at the same time. It was one of those places. The scientific term for it is that it was a lovable shithole. It was a dive bar that I worked at for a spell. It was the kind of place that within 6 months of working there, I was the most senior staff member. That was considered ancient by Van Gogh's terms. It was this kind of place where you could play your first gigs like I did and suck, like be so bad, and for it to not matter because there's no one there to hear it anyways. And those places are pretty essential. It's where you are able to cut teeth and get an idea of what it means to be on a stage in front of people or in front of no people and play anyways. And before I left there and before it closed, Van Gogh's is long then gone now. I collected some stories from the regulars, the folks who lived there and that I, as a bartender, could kind of set my watch by, seeing them every day in most cases, every month in others, depending on what their financial situation was like. So I'm going to tell you about Howie, Betty, and Robert. And I'm not going to tell you about Dudley, but Dudley gifted me with the last line of this song. I was in there and he was holding court. Dudley was a former professor, so he had a lot to say, and he wasn't used to listening to people. So why start then? But one day he leaned over to me and said, "You know, we're the best of a bad lot." Howie drinks water so his wife won't smell beer on his breath. I think he's just here to talk to somebody else. Hanging low at the bar, we both know that he won't be tipping. He shows pictures of his family, just magazine clippings. Regulars, regulars, reserve their chair, return to rust there tomorrow. Betty's in monthly, and I always ask where she's been. She's living for the 31st when she knows that check's coming in. And she likes to tell me that she used to date Ronnie Hawkins. She stares in each glass like it's there that he's been waiting. Regulars, regulars, reserve their chair, return to rest there tomorrow. Bob stumbles in around 4 for his daily prescription. His doctor said not to have more, but he doesn't listen. With poison in his bones, he's dead set that he's going to win. Racing with chemo to see who can finish him. Regulars. Reserve their chair, return to rest there tomorrow. When their hearts aren't at home, they all sit alone together.
We're going to sing one more tune, and then we're going to take a break before coming back for set number 2. In that time, I would love to show you around some of our merch and get to know the folks here who we haven't yet met. It would be great to get to know who you are and why you decided to come and see us, Weird Tragedy Ann folks. We have behind this curtain there's a merch table, and on it we just have a few remaining things. We had brought our soap and our cookbook, but those are long gone. Most of the shirt sizes are also gone. Our most recent album is gone, which is great, but I wish that you could see. Actually, we put a little order. If you want to have any of those things, we have some of those things back in Guelph still, so happy to mail them to you, but we do have a few things still with us.
So we have 2 of our other albums, and we have a select number of t-shirts in a select series of sizes. If you are someone who requires a size for a t-shirt, as I suspect we all are, I want you to have a chat with us. We have these lovely t-shirts. They're 100% cotton and printed in Guelph. They have a lovely little red squirrel on them and a cedar bough and a human hand all in one line, kind of connecting the flora, fauna, and humana. We also have stickers, and perhaps most crucially, we have a mailing list. We try our best to market ourselves like it's 1999, and that means emails. We are sending newsletters when we have things to say, as opposed to snapshots when we might not have much to say. And it's long-form communication, and we spend a lot of time on it and take a lot of care in it. And it is such a joy to have people write us back and let us know how they're doing, and finally give us that plum chutney recipe that they've been promising us, and all that kind of thing. So if this speaks to you, if you want to know what we're up to and know when we're going to be in town next, that is the best way to do it. If you're not caring for any of this, you can write the email of your worst enemy, and they might appreciate it. We'll figure it out. I also want to extend a huge thank you to Home Roots and to Rhoda for housing us today, because that's just essential. I don't know where we'd sleep otherwise, and her space is warm and inviting, and a good place to land when we're done here.
It'll be our first our last official bed before we go on the train, and we have these tiny little things with a flat little thing for your head, and but surprisingly you sleep very well on the train despite all that.
I'm deciding now we're doing a fire sale on the merch. It's a BOGO. It's a buy one and only get one. Everything is on sale for 100% price. Come on down.
Christmas was dark in that border town, seeking the body of John McGowan. That time of year the frost runs deep, no chance in hell to dig 6 feet. I'd find his killer, bring him to the stand. The Mountie always gets his man. When I got there, it'd been 14 days since screams first floated from the lake. Asked around for any sign, an open door to a killer's mind. In every home they curse John's name, his murder they did celebrate. I came to learn about the man, liquored, mean, and violent. It was known he drank for taste. He only smiled when in a rage. Ooh, they'd all felt his hate ignite, but none so much as his poor wife. Had justice been made to that town to take the life of John McGowan. Marie McGowan was needing sleep, a fading bruise upon her cheek. Said after 15 years, better believe I bled him less than he bled me. Then she wrote it out. I read it all. I left her there, told her you might call. Let your court decide if I'm unfit. If you'd been there, would you have brought her in? Her confession read, confession read. John's gone, ain't coming home, won't raise his hand, won't hide the phone, won't pollute his blood. I watched as it froze, made a Jackson Pollock in December snow. Then I took his eyes and I let him go, gave him a chance to walk back home. Then I came back after 3 cold nights and I cut a hole into the ice. Now it's too bad he couldn't see, 'cause I was grinning cheek to cheek when I laid him down into that hole. And now his body is just as cold as the wicked hands he could not control in the bars of the prison where I'll go. Tap from beneath the ice on the darkest day. On the longest night, you'll hear a tap tap from beneath the ice. On the darkest day, on the longest night, you'll hear a tap tap from beneath the ice. On the darkest day, on the longest night, you'll hear a tap tap.
So much. Enjoy your break, everybody.
Avoided you if I just stayed on. Heard the warnings, now I'm a little drunk and I'm vibing in the corner with the ghost. Was a minor thing, I turned to something looming, crashing over, and I'm drowning. But since it's not my style, I'm trying not to make a scene. My heart proved more fragile than your ego. All the words that I heard didn't bite, didn't tear you apart. Ten deep breaths and I'll scatter like in the snow. If I could let it go, then I would, but it's so damn hard. Thousand lights are flashing, all so blinding. I'm the epicenter, and I'm finding the voices speaking now. A laugh too loud, ripping through my veins. My heart proved more fragile than your ego. All the words that I heard didn't bite, didn't tear you apart. Ten deep breaths and I'll scatter like in the snow. If I could let it go, then I would, but it's so damn hard. I wish you hated me over apathy. I had crowned you with fears and my childish hopes. I wish you hated me over apathy. I don't care how you feel, but it kills me that you don't. My heart proved more fragile than your ego. All the words that I heard didn't bite, didn't tear you apart. Ten
starts with a train.
Running in the middle of the night, hiding with the first sign of light. When the dogs have lost the scent, it's time to start the running again. Watching for a secret sign, a quilt on a clothesline, following the drunkard's path, staggering from east to west on the Underground Railroad, all the way to Canada. Heard about a chance of freedom, word came down from Halifax. If you cross Niagara River, nobody's gonna send you back on the Underground Railroad, all the way to Canada. It's a change for the better, I know. Soon as I can make it my home, almost ran out of hope and of faith till they saw glory of God across the water. The glory of God was the name they gave the city of Windsor, so no one would know what they were talking about. And you know the quilt patterns? The quilts were hung on the lines to tell the runaway slaves what to do next. The patterns indicated certain things. The drunkard's path indicated that they were to weave from east to west on their way north. You know Harriet Tubman? She made it up on the Underground Railroad and became a conductor and made it down several times and picked up more and more passengers. Every time she went down, she'd say a little prayer. But first, we'll go back to the train. Oh, the train is waiting at the station. Conductor's at the door. The compass is a constellation with the stars in the north. Black Moses said, Lord, you've been with me through troubled times before. So won't you stay with me through troubled times once more on the Underground Railroad, all the way to Canada. It's a change for the better, I know. Soon as I can make it my home on the Underground Railroad, all the way to Canada. It's a change for the better, I know. Soon as I can make it my home. Oh, as soon as I can make it my home. As soon as I can make it my
Ooh, thank you.
Singing this song here for you all tonight. Dear Kathleen, we're so lucky to be alive.
sirens closed in. She lay on the ground, breath rising up, a single shot, and she fell. Lucky we are alive. We survived, we're alive. Lucky we are alive. We survived, we're alive. We survived, we're alive. We survived, we're alive. Again, Thank you.
One, two, three, four. Well, crazy, that's how it goes. You've got millions of people just living as fools. Well, maybe it's not too late to learn how to love and forget how to hate. Mental wounds not healing, it's a bitter shame when you're going off the rails on a crazy train. You're going off the rails on a crazy train. I've listened to preachers and I've listened to fools, and I've listened to dropouts who make their own rules. Well, maybe it's not too late to learn how to love and forget how to hate. Mental wounds not healing, it's a bitter shame when you're going off the rails on a crazy train. You're going off the rails on a crazy train. You're going off the rails on a crazy train. You're going off the rails on a crazy train. Thank you so much.
Eliza Doyle, folks. Thank you to Tim and John for having us.
I found the rain. put your head down no more. Come on, take a stand. There's a little bit of God in every man. Whoa, 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 whoa. And I'd break my back just to start again. Lay my bare skin on the land, and I would follow it home. And I would walk 100 miles to the river's end, just to listen to what the water said. 'Cause I think she knows, yeah, she knows that there is a little bit of God. Yeah, a little bit of God in my soul. Whoa, whoa, there is a little bit of God. Yeah, a little bit of God in everything. Oh.
I grew up on the White Lake Shore gas station strip, lone drivers in motels and corn laundries, hanging out on Fridays at the end of Roy York Road, smoking players' lights and talking like we know anywhere other than Mimico. And I left Humber College in vague hope to find something new to like and leave it behind. I left this smug north of Rome's latest decline. I left north of what might be wrong but alive. I left Petawawa in August '03 for Kabul with the 3rd Battalion to see anywhere other than Mimico. And I never thought I'd ever say I'd miss the gas station days in Mimico. No,
Hello again, friends. Hope we had a fine break amongst the fineries and the oddities. Or we had an odd break amongst the oddities and the fineries. Either or. This song is about the benefits of vulnerability and what can happen when you allow yourself the discomfort of being cracked open and turned into someone new.
It felt right as Anna spoke her mind. The day Alfredo died, Your tears had not had time to dry. All these reasons that we cry. You asleep, communion I could only seek, piece of peace, overnight and underneath. All these reasons that we dream. The choir sang and I couldn't stay. I cried and hid backstage. They sang for Sinead, alone amongst the voices raised. All these reasons that we break. Glitter, glamour, all I lack. Illuminate my face and ask, is there reason to resist? Wonder, beauty, answer back. All of them is all I am. Silence, stillness. Every first and final kiss. All these reasons that we live.
What do you think, Liv? Are we gonna have fun?
I think we're gonna have fun.
Let's have fun.
What do you think? Okay.
Home is a feeling, measured heights penciled by the door. Home is a building where memories of memories are stored. Creaky floors, balladeers, quiet chords of history here. History's here. Love is the making, space for them to make you who you are. Love is the loving, calling in when you have missed the mark. Thank your scars, all they know. Timid heart, open slow, open slow. The tree remembers, the axe forgets.
you we'd have fun.
I told ya.
A woman stands on the shore and looks out to sea. She's waiting, and she's been waiting for a long time. She knows that her love is out there, but she's uncertain of which side of the waves he's on. She is, however, certain that when she last saw him, he wore a warm and thick cable knit sweater that she made for him. This sweater serves the primary purpose, as all good sweaters do, of keeping its wearer warm and dry in the spaces that are neither warm nor dry. And it has a secondary role as talisman. Each knit, each pattern holds meaning for the wearer and urges them to have a safe catch and to come home safely. And when one is in precarious spaces, in doing dangerous work, you take all the help you can get. And, should the worst come to pass, the sweater serves a third and final purpose of aiding in the identification of a body that washes upon the shore. The song is called Honeycomb.
Holding him, I measure my weight in waxing and waiting. The tide tells a story. Every night I'm listening. I time my prayer to crashing and swaying. Will the honeycomb bring him home, or help me recognize him? If life is a tree, won't she bend to me a branch for him to hold? I wove him a basket. I sowed him fields of wheat. I tied him a cable so he'd always find me. The wool he was wearing, well, it was wearing thin. I swear I will mend it as soon as he's landed. Will the honeycomb bring him home, or help me recognize him? If life is a tree, won't The sun rises quiet. The waves are whispering. They'll take me to him if I lay amongst them. Will the honeycomb bring him home, or help me recognize him? If life is a tree, won't she bend to me, a branch for him to hold? If life is a tree, won't she bend to me, a branch for him to hold?
Thank you. I want to inform you of a superpower I have. I have two superpowers. One is being in the way in a group of people. No matter where I stand, I am in the way. The other one is finding a creaky floorboard. And I got one right here. It's like there's a magnet under my foot. And a magnet under the floorboard because it's wooden, so.
What's that book that Jill lent to us about the superpowers?
Oh, I lent that to Jill.
Or, yeah, sorry.
So there's a terrific, oh shoot. I forget the author's name. Kaufman is his last name. He's an Ontario author, and he wrote a book called All My Friends Are Superheroes. And it is really, really touching and changed how I think about friendship and how I think about superpowers as well. I would highly recommend it. It's a quick read. I read it in an afternoon one of the times I've read it. And yeah. That is my spiel about that particular book.
You'll have to figure out what those superpowers are by reading the book.
Oh.
I think my superpower is sleeping at inconvenient places.
That's called narcolepsy.
Oh gosh. There's this great video that Braden took there's a wacky folk music conference called Folk Music Ontario, and not only are there showcases for music in the hotel conference rooms and ballrooms, but there are also tiny showcases that happen inside the bedrooms, and people kind of decorate them under themes and whatever, host these things late into the night. Anyway, we were hosting a room for Guelph artists, including Tanis Slimmin, and we were staying in that bedroom. And there's this video that Braden took of me totally asleep in the middle of a raucous jam at 4 a.m. I was just like, I'm ready for sleep.
Yeah.
So you guys can jam. I'm just going to sleep over here.
It was a big old sing-along to Fever, if I remember correctly.
Yes, it was Fever.
Mm-hmm. She nods as if she was there and conscious. Yes, it was Fever in F sharp.
It was a fever dream, of course.
Very nice, very nice. If this song reminds you of yourself, that is because it is about you.
Sometimes you fall asleep when we watch a movie. Sometimes you don't make it 15 minutes in. Seems like all you need for you to be cozy is to hear my heartbeat and credits to begin. That's okay with me. I'll be the guy at your side. That's okay with me. I'll be the dude you snooze on. Snooze haven't felt my arm for at least half an hour, and all attempts to retrieve it have failed. And I think the mark left from your shoulder will tattoo my ribs like a rose. That's okay with me. I'll be the guy at your side. That's okay with me. I'll be the dude you snooze on. Snooze on. This next instrumental is dedicated to our tiny friend Aria, who was here earlier. I trust that she is sleeping pleasantly at this very moment. And if anyone were to have the spirit move them to gently snore during this instrumental, while thinking of Aria, we can do so. Sometimes you fall asleep when we watch a movie. Sometimes you don't make the first dialogue. So I guess I'll eat all your candy. But the sweetest thing here's already nodded off. Thank you. We're going to take you way back now to the 2014-2015 college school year. It was a different time. I had just moved out of Everton, Ontario, which is a community consisting of 200 humans and roughly 250 cows. They're hard to count, they're moving, so it's roughly. I had just moved out of Everton to the big old city, the big Canadian city that starts with the letter T. And I was kind of shell-shocked by it. It was a lot of people and a lot of people going places, it seemed, and not really having time to help out or say hi or anything like that. And something that really kept me grounded in that space and kept me open to wonder and curiosity and all of that is I had the great privilege of falling in love with the city while falling in love in a city. And that's where this song came from. This is the very first Tragedy Ann song. Kiss me on the roof of your apartment. Let Young Street play requests. It might be here all week, but tonight it plays its best. explain that college and church isn't quite correct. They might have been that before, but they changed after they met. The streets were so lonely before you showed me around. I think we're the only two that still love this town. Forgive me for giving you subway, TTC heart attacks. I know it freaks you out when I stand too close to the tracks. The streets were so lonely before you showed me around. I think we're the only two that still love this town. The streets were so lonely before you showed me around. I think we're the only two that still love this town. I think we're the only two that still love this town.
Thank you.
We've got 2 songs left. I was saying to Callie during the break that I'm really soaking up playing the organ right now because it's going to be in the baggage car on the Via Rail train, and I won't be able to play it for our sets on the train. So
We're just
wishing
gonna
it
be
well.
we're just gonna be checking on our air tags
I know.
completely neurotically the whole train ride.
Really grateful that you took the time to come and try something new here. I was chatting with some of you in the break, and some of your first times in this space, and definitely your first time hearing us live. So thank you for giving this a shot. It means a lot.
This is a song about change and trying to accept it and trying to understand it and trying to be patient with another while they navigate change. And there's a person in my life who's having immense personal change in addition to all the interpersonal and macro change that we're all seeing. And it's been a struggle to make space for patience and compassion, and also acknowledge my own frustration and acknowledge my fear that when my time comes for this kind of change, and it will, my fear is that I won't be brave enough to meet it, and I won't have the grace to really go there. So I write.
Painted leaf in autumn, strange and familiar, away for a year. Gifting green to memory, summer become envy for me to visit there. Change in place, in change in place, am I the same? Or am I just scared of the changing, of the painting, of the falling of before? never loved a stranger more. I've never understood you less. I need to know that we can change. Definition of memory. Remember, remembering, forever forgot. Change is changing, the same ain't the same thing. I'm bracing for what your heart may hold, what you're reading and believing and repeating in a voice like yours. I've never loved a stranger more. I've never understood you less. I need to know that we can If the common ground beneath our feet looks to you like a trapdoor, if we can share just one baby, I've never loved a stranger more. We have reached the gripping conclusion. We got there, folks. Thank you for being here.
Until next time, Duncan.
So, in addition to our young friend Arya, who we met this afternoon and is now my best friend, we met Arya's quadrupedic friend, Flop. Flop is a puppy dog, and Flop comes by her name very honestly. And I mentioned Flop because I see there's a Flop hair on my guitar that I can see now, and it's reminding me of just a really sweet time earlier today. This is a song called Puddle Wonderful, and it is about meeting sweet times and meeting bitter times, and recognizing that they're all just times. And time is something we've made up, and all this experience is such a gift. All of it is such a gift. Looked in a puddle of mud and swore I saw myself close to God as anybody else. Profound, profane, are they the same? Coin that we're bartering, divining significance amongst the spinning. Fear stays clean and joy gets dirty. This I learned when I turned 30. They never say an unsaid thing, but I'm grateful for the chance in that puddle wonderful pool of everything. My heart was full, my head became
trees in spring, crack in the skin for leaving. Foggy morning, hole in the sprouted, no-nose garlic in our garden. We tend the gift to watch the memory growing in that puddle wonderful pool of everything. My heart was full, my head began to clearing. I saw the turtle snap beneath the tire track. I cried out, believed the world was breaking. May I live to see the rest. Weave blankets of banner thread. May we outlive the flags that we are waving in that puddle wonderful pool of everything. My heart was full, my head began to clearing. A subtle heaven sent choir of everything. Sun on skin, the song that life is singing. Sun on skin, the song that life is singing. Thank you very much. Good night. Now get home, it's Thursday.
And matters of the heart, my hands so tied, my sleeves so torn. I gave you all I have to give, you always wanted more. Slowly we grow apart, closer to who we are. Baby, if I keep running to you, I'll be running till my feet turn black, till my lungs collapse and I wouldn't come back. I can't give another year to you, another second's gonna drive me mad, and I won't do that, 'cause I wouldn't come back. I wouldn't come back. Like the old man in the sea, I wasn't meant to take you in. I find when I'm without you, I am with myself again. You're whispering in my ear. Your hands on me make it clear. Baby, if I keep running to you, I'll be running till my feet turn black, till my lungs collapse and I wouldn't come back. Till my feet turn black, till my lungs collapse and I wouldn't come back. Oh no. Till my feet turn black, till my lungs